Phone 8223 0000.
Interactive Radio, 1395 Adelaide's 5AA.
Welcome back, 16 past 11. David Wildy, Michelangelo Rucci and Chris McDermott taking your calls, emails, SMSs.
Now, got an email here. We're selling ourselves short as a state if we don't get a new inner-city stadium. We went to Etihad on Friday night. It was great. Caught a tram, had a pub meal, walked to the stadium, which was good in itself, but the seating and facilities within the stadium can't be matched by an Adelaide Oval upgrade. Etihad is better than the MCG, the SCG, the Gabba, Adelaide Oval and Amy, and I've watched football at all of them. Pity politics may prevent this for our state, says Wayne.
Had a vote on the Herald Sun poll on that. 75% said MCG. What's a better atmosphere? Where would you rather watch footy? 75% of the Melbourne, you'd have to imagine the Melbourne footy fraternity said the MCG. We love Etihad when it's full house. Etihad. Great atmosphere, but mind you, so too is the MCG.
David says, when negotiating a move to Adelaide Oval, the Sandful should note the Queensland Rugby Union has gone broke because it's left a 42-year-old Ballymore Stadium to share a new Suncorp Stadium with other codes.
I've got an idea on that.
Give us your crystal ball, Michelangelo Rucci. What is going to happen here? Clear it up for us.
I think that there's only one answer here, in that we've got to bring everything together in the city, and if it's going to be Adelaide Oval, because that looks like that's the go
at the moment.
If it's all going to happen at Adelaide Oval, it's all going to be united together. We've got to minimise middlemen. The more layers of management you put over a system, the more costs there are. We have to protect the Sackers' interest in Test cricket, because we know that if they don't sort out Adelaide Oval, Hobart is going to get Test status ahead of Adelaide. The Cricket Australia just leases out its events, doesn't it? They don't care about stadia. They just look for the bottom line. So the Sacker has to be protected, but most importantly, the SANFL can't leave Amy Stadium, where it's got its control, its destiny, to go to Adelaide Oval to be subservient to the Sacker. More so if everything we're hearing about the Sacker's debt is real.
It's 90 million. Is that that's the figure out there?
That's being bandied around. So here's the thought: why doesn't the SANFL and Sacker merge to form one organisation, and then ensure that the lease for Adelaide Oval is very much in the hands of the SANFL as much as it is in the Sacker? So we have the South Australian Football and Cricket Association. They have offsprings that look after football and cricket, but in the end, they're not arguing about who actually is in control of Adelaide Oval. It is one united group. Why would you have two?
Very hard to run cricket and footy if you do it properly from the one venue. I reckon the way the seasons overlap.
Well, they're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Well, we are going to do it. Why?
How do they overlap? I mean, where's the overlap?
Well, footy's starting in Feb now, and cricket goes through to March.
You're not playing, but you're
not going to play any Shield games, is that what you're saying? None of the first-class cricket will stay at Adelaide Oval?
They're at Glenelg Oval.
They've moved. They're already on the path.
So cricket's already taken a back seat.
Well, Sheffield Shield cricket, why would you play Sheffield Shield cricket at Adelaide Oval when you don't get 500 people to it?
Ah, good point, fair point, valid point. Taken on board.
Thank you, David.
Kevin Foley coming up in a moment.
We had... you can't avoid the politics, because in the end this is a government decision about Adelaide Oval. And I think Kevin Foley is Deputy Premier and State Treasurer. His exchange with Matthew Clark on Saturday tells you how this thing's going to end.
Kevin, on July the 1st, if the SMA comes back and says the Crows are not demonstrably better off with this proposal, does the money disappear?
Well, Matty, with all due respect, the Crows are not the be-all and end-all in South Australia. You're not the only team that plays football.
Well, they're the ones that are going to pay the rent, mate. They're the best tenant you'll have at that football ground.
Well, Matty, that's not correct.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think that. It is a collective. It'll be the Power, it'll be the Crows, it'll be cricket, it'll be all the other events that could be brought along. Now,
who's the best tenant of all those ones you've just described?
Matthew, you're a Crows man, and
I'm only just a Crows man. I'm more so a sports fan, and I want to see the best possible stadium for the next 25 years. And I'm worried that on July the 1st, if they come back and say, look, this deal doesn't stack up, then the money disappears, and we end up with a rundown Amy Stadium, which we've lost 100 million on the upgrade, and then an Adelaide Oval that's also going to miss out on the funds. We just want a commitment that the money's going to come regardless. You're going to say, why couldn't you say this stadium gets built, and we move forward regardless?
Well, Matty, I mean, I'm not going to build a stadium if the Crows and the Power don't want it, and the SANFL don't want it.
Oh, dear me.
I think the key word there is collective. And if on July 1, and at this point, every word emerging around the SMA, the Stadium Management Authority, is that the commercial deal at Adelaide Oval will be better for the Sacker. No surprise there, because they'll have more events.
Well, they're the big winner. Saka are the big winner.
No doubt. Better for the SANFL, clearly better for Port Adelaide. And I keep hearing that the commercial deal for Adelaide will be good. But if it isn't...
Well, it has to be good.
I think when I'm not convinced anymore that Adelaide has a say, and I wouldn't be surprised if July 1 we get a deal that's great for Port, the SANFL and the Saka, but not so good for Adelaide, like minor changes to them, that their board's really faced with two options. They either stand on their ground and say we're not moving and then find themselves sacked by the SANFL, or they all resign.
Adelaide can't stand on their ground. SANFL will have the final say.
I can't see how this doesn't happen.
Unless there's a change in political power here.
Then it's just a move to
another
stadium.
Amy Stadium is finished. Let's get that right through our head.
Absolutely.
Amy Stadium is dead. Finished, gone. If it's a city stadium on the Riverside Liberal project or Adelaide Oval, there is no Amy Stadium anymore.
Isn't it funny though? Suddenly gone from spending all this money on Amy, making it a state-of-the-art
no one's giving
stadium.
you that money anymore.
No, because
It's
one decision here in North Terrace. It's amazing how things change, isn't it?
Well, no, it's not one decision. It's a couple of decisions because neither party are giving money to Amy. Amy's not getting any more money.
They were given money, now it's been taken away.
Because
12 months ago, Chris, they were being given money.
You want to know why? Because the AFL's made the decision. They don't want to be at Amy anymore. They want their games in the city.
So the AFL actually out-trumped the SANFL, who out-trumped the Crows. Is that the pecking order? Fair enough.